माय यूट्यूब चैनल द सोलफुल डायरी। आज के वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे रूडयार्ड किपलिंग के पोम बूट्स के बारे में। पोएट के बारे में हम पहले एक वीडियो में डिस्कस कर चुके हैं जिसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में, और जितने भी पोम हमने रूडयार्ड किपलिंग के डिस्कस किए उन सबका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में है। चलिए शुरू करते हैं आज के पोम। डिस्कस करने से पहले जान लेते हैं उसके कुछ की फीचर्स। This poem was first published in 1903 in the Five Nations. It describes the repetitive thoughts of soldiers forced to march in South Africa during the Second Boer War. It was later set to music, maintaining the cadence Kipling intended. Boots was also included in their Silhouettes, a choice of Kipling's verse. Boots is an unusual poem that focuses on the marching motion of an infantry column. It depicts the psychological torture of endless marching during the African campaign, showing how the constant rhythm of boots drives soldiers to the brink of madness. The poem follows soldiers marching through Africa, focusing on their psychological deterioration as they become obsessed with the endless rhythm of marching boots. Through repetitive phrases and counting, Kipling shows how the soldiers try to distract themselves from the maddening sound and motion of boots moving up and down again. The poem crescent codes from physical exhaustion to complete psychological breakdown, with the soldiers haunted by visions of 40,000 million boots. The poem uses a great deal of repetition in order to emphasize the endless marching of a group of soldiers and engaged in. They have nothing to do but look at their boots and march forward. They can deal with the hunger and cold, but it's the sight of their boots that's going to drive them insane. The poem is divided into sets of 4 lines known as quatrains. These quatrains do not follow a specific rhyme scheme, but every stanza ends with the same word war. Plus, the poet uses the same structure throughout, repeating words in the first 3 lines and then repeating some version of "There's no discharge in the war" in the fourth line. This structure mirrors the relentless marching rhythm of soldiers, with the shorter refrain acting as a haunting reminder of their endless duty. The repetitive nature of the stanzas reflect the monotonous nature of military marching. The poem employs a unique stress pattern that mimics the sound of marching boots. The primary lines uses strong stresses separated by unstressed syllables, creating a thump-thump rhythm. The repetition of words like boots and foot creates a percussive effect. There is not traditional meter but rather an experimental form that perfectly captures the sound and sensation of marching. चलिए पोम को इन डेप्थ डिस्कस करते हैं। Stanza 1 and 2. We are foot slogging over Africa. Foot slogging over Africa. Boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. 7, 6, 11, 5, 9 and 20 mile today. 4, 11, 17, 32 the day before. Boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. In the first 2 stanzas of Boot, the poet describes the sound and movement of an infantry column. There is a great deal of repetition in the poem. Words are used multiple times and the same format is repeated in the first 3 lines of every stanza. The speaker describes their movement over Africa, slogging and working, moving their boots up and down. There is something that goes on over and over for miles throughout the day. All of the stanzas end with a similar line: There's no discharge in the war. This is the way of emphasizing once again how there is no respite in war, there's no break for the men marching through the country. For don't. Look at what's in front of you. Boots, moving up and down again. Men. Go mad with watching him, and there's no discharge in the war. Try to think of something different. Oh my god, keep me from going lunatic. Boots. Moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. In the third and fourth stanza, the same kind of lines reappear. The reader learns that the soldiers have nothing to do but keep moving and watching what's in front of them. This goes on for so long that men go mad with watching the boots go up and down. The second line of the fourth stanza refers to the speaker specifically. He asks that God keep him from becoming a lunatic. It's easy to sense the speaker's desperation in these lines. Stanza 5 and 6. Count, 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 count the bullets in the bandoliers. If your eyes drop, they will get a top on you. Boots, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. We can stick out hunger, thirst, and weariness, but not the chronic sight of him. Boots, 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 moving up and down again, and there's no discharge in the war. In the next two stanzas, the speaker notes that while marching the count, the bullets and the bandoliers they march through thirst and weariness, and there's nothing they can do to make their situation better. 7 8 it ain't so bad by day because of our company, but night brings long strings of 40,000 million boots, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. I have marched 6 weeks in LN certify it is not fire devil stuck or anything but boots, 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 moving up and down again, and there's no discharge in the war. In the final two stanzas, the speaker notes that the company makes things better during the day, but the night is far worse. All that there is the marching and their dark thoughts to consider. Memory devices repetition occurs when the poet repeats an image, phrase, structure, image, or any other feature of their poetry. In this case, the poet uses a refrain and frame structure. Imagery can be seen when the poet uses particularly interesting description. For example, we can stick out hunger, thirst, and weariness, but not the chronic slight of him. Alliteration occurs when the poet repeats the same consonant sounds at the beginning of multiple words. For example, what in the second line of the first stanza. थैंक यू आई होप आज की वीडियो आपको पसंद है कैसी लगी हमें कमेंट करके बताएं अगर वीडियो अच्छी लगी हो तो लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब टू माय चैनल मिलते हैं कल एक और इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियो के साथ शाम 4 बजे टिल देन कीप वॉचिंग एंड कीप सपोर्टिंग द सोलफुल डायरी थैंक यू